Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon. I'm Blind Prime and this is Blindformers, and I have for you today the continuation of episode 49, which is where we transform all of the Constructacons into their Devastator pieces. Last night on take number 6, the camera fiddle screwed up when I got to long haul, and then my phone died, and I threw it in for the night. I threw in the towel, but I had managed to complete 5 on the previous video. So if you ignore the previous video's long haul, and you just focus on the 5 that I did cover, then this video will cover long haul, Rampage, and Overload. So we will begin with long haul, as he is one of the more difficult ones for this transformation. So let's begin. To start off with, you want to take long haul's legs, which are which are stored under the front of the cab for his dump truck mode, and you're going to want to drag them. First off, you want to disconnect them from each other. Once done, you want to rotate them just a bit, because what we're going to do is going to move them up. So it's best if they rotate just slightly to allow for more motion upwards. And you do that by rotating the hip joints, boom and boom, and then clickety-clack all the way up, and clickety-clack all the way up. Okay, now that that's complete, what we're going to want to do is fiddle with the back. In just a second, we're going to complete these legs first. So, to complete these legs, feel around on them. You can feel where the tires move, okay? So when the tires are in their side positions for the vehicle mode, you want to move them into the back position that you use for robot mode. So slide them into their position there, and on the reverse side of where the tires now sit, you will feel the back of the leg there, and there's a cut in it. There's this little port that sticks out and goes at a right angle. You can run your thumbnail or fingernail underneath it, kind of. You can feel that there is an area there. Those two cuts need to be next to each other. They're already kind of there, and all we're going to do is ensure that that happens by reconnecting everything together. Now this will allow for these two cuts here to be close enough together that when we transform him into his Devastator mode, this will make for a connection to his upper leg. So there's that connection. We're done with it. Let's work on making the foot. Now, basically what you do here is you try not to upset anything that's already happened. So you don't want to really interfere with the arms too much. You don't want to interfere with anything. You just want to try and pull out those side truck panels, the ones for the side of the truck bed. You want to try and pull them up on their little stand. There it goes. Okay. Now, when you pull it up, make sure that you reattach the hands. The hands being there is going to be very important for the stability of this machine. So, we want to make sure that we have our hands in their proper place. Go back to your home, Mr. Hand. Thank you. And other hand now. Give me your shield. Pull it out. Then go back to your home, Mr. Hand. He's got a... Just love that he reaches around and grabs his back as part of the transformation. I think that's kind of funny. Long haul, you're goofy. Alright. Well, we've accomplished that. We could rotate these panels, and they will reconnect to the front. So rotate both panels, and then we feel the front of the truck. So take the part that has the cab and flip it forwards, and then you'll find the part that's the overlay that overlays the cab, and that's the edge of the bucket. It has notches, one on each side. So now that we've turned this arm around, we can plug it into these notches. That's a pretty interesting way to do things, and I admit it's not the greatest way to do things, but if you get it into the notch, it does make for a very stable foot platform. They did a good job designing this. I think that's why everybody likes Long Haul. Nobody can really say many bad things about the guy. Other than the fact that he complains a lot while working, but who... I mean, if you were a dump truck, and everybody literally asked you to load and unload everything because you were the dump truck. I mean, people who own trucks and have friends know what I'm talking about, because their friends are always calling them, hey, I need help moving. My roommate's got a truck, and that always happens to him, now that he has a truck. People are like, hey, you got a truck, man. You can help me move, right? All right, there we go. So, that's the foot for Devastator. It looks kind of cool. It's a nice looking foot. He's got no toesy woesies, but it's pretty awesome. So that panel there kind of just flaps up and down. Honestly, that's the weirdest part about this foot. It'd been cooler if it had an ability to tack up to the leg, but whatever. It sits there. So another one down. Let's move on to Rampage. So we'll put Mr. Foot over here. Hopefully he won't interfere with things. Can we put the foot? Aha! There's a place to put the foot away from the rest of the area. Next transformation is Rampage here. Look at Rampage. Alright. Rampage's transformation is pretty easy. We are going to take Rampage here, and we are going to pick up the entire front of his dump truck. Like, the entire top of the dump truck is going to go picking up all the way. There it goes. And you're going to notice it's got some nice clickety-clack joints there. That's going to be helpful. Sadly, it doesn't really have much on the side-to-side clickety-clack motion. Sad to say, but if you peel up the back, the underside of the dump truck cab, where the I guess the robot chassis would be, where his lower leg area would be, for his pogo bot self. There's the pogo. You don't want the pogo sticking out. You'll find that there's this cut there. That's like a slide. You can, it's a T, and there's writing on each side. You can run your fingernails down that. That's also going to connect to overload for the other piece area. So we can just flip that up and leave it out of the way if you want, or you can fold it back down if you're OCD until you're ready to transform it. And then the back of the legs, they say do other things. Honestly, that is a very sturdy connection. We can actually drag out the head to make for a better kind of connection. You just pick the head up. And you're supposed to turn these things sideways, I think. I'm not sure, but I just like doing it like that. That makes for a really good, solid area. Well, then again, we'll do it the right way. Okay, so you want to disconnect these two pits here. The little claw ends that hold the ends of the treads together. And then you're going to want to rotate the treads. That's all. So we just rotate each tread 190 degrees. No. Just 90 degrees. Just 90 degrees. We're not going crazy with it. And we want to make sure that the bumpy part has got to be inwards, because the tread part kind of sits out here on the side. That stays as connected, so the tread just sits there like that. At least I think it does. This is how I transformed it, without really understanding what people online were talking about. So excuse me if it's wrong. It is a blind man's interpretation of what Devastator should transform into, and I just screwed that up. Give me that connection back. Give me that connection back. Give me that connection back. Thank you. I needed to twist you there. Yeah, there. There's where the twisting happens. And then you raise those bits up like that. And then these little cross beams, his longest claws actually would just drag it across, and then take his other longest claw from the outside of the thing and drag it up as well. And I like to kind of just keep them crossed where they fold the points inwards just a bit, and they will meet. It's just a detail. I don't think it matters. I like it because I'm just detail oriented. Let's do this For the underside 2 claws, we'll drag them all the way out towards the end, towards the 2 claws that are sitting there, and then they would just kind of clasp. Actually, that's a good idea to do it with these 2 guys too. Let's do that as well. So boom, and then boom. Make them just kind of touch a bit, and there you go. You know, it's a it's a leg, and it's a foot. That's very obviously a foot. This thing can actually shrink down pretty far. We're gonna stand it up though. Well, actually, that's supposed to be how it goes. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. That's where it is, because now we got the side-to-side action going on. Okay, so I was wrong. You're not supposed to pick up the entire top of the bulldozer for Rampage. You're just supposed to feel on it. You'll feel that there's a little smokestack that's textured into it. There's 2, but you want the tallest and the tallest one that's the skinniest one. That's almost like a blast effect port. And what you're going to do is right behind it, the bulldozer bit folds, and then that tall bit that you were feeling is going to slide into a special little port and add stability. Look at that. I got it much more stable. Okay, so we're done with this dude. We're going to move this foot off to the side. Give me a foot, give me a foot. Give me a foot, 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 foot. Okay, there's a foot. Now finally we come to big guy, the one that my clumsy self broke, which has affected how Devastator stands. Sadly enough, I will be needing to get another overload. I don't want to. He's an expensive dude, but at least he's no long haul. And because people don't like this guy for anything but transformation. Okay, so I honestly don't know what to do with these. If you tilt them like this, it doesn't work. So what it is these bits that have the big ratchets, the part that's actually like the bulldozer, the dump truck area, it has, if you feel around on the top of it, one side, there is a big flat panel that has a right angle slit on each side that you can put your fingernail in towards the very end, near right above the back wheels of the vehicle. On the other side, you will feel in that same location, that same general location, there is no big wide flat panel, but there is this cut that is cut out of the of the top of the dump truck area, and it has a 2 right angles in it, and it's like a reverse T, and that's going to connect to Rampage. So we got Rampage connection on one leg, and then long haul connection on the other. Now, for these legs, you want to take the arms, and fold them out. We don't want them really getting in the way of this transformation, and we got to clean some space in order for these points to connect. This arm never wants to leave its moorings, but it will. I command it, and it's basically just going to spin backwards and then sit. It's going to act as a back support for the leg, and then this one is just going to spin in place. Where does it spin at? There's its spin point. Let's spin it 100. You spin the claw 180 degrees, and then drag the wheel down, and the claw is going to lay against the back of the leg. There's no real other place for it that I know of, but actually if you move the claw it can sit like that, or just fold in like that. Actually, don't even move, just drag the wheel up a bit, and then fold the claw back over the top of the wheel, just leaving enough space there for something to fit in. And we're going to do it on the other side. So we are going to pull out this wheel and claw, and we're going to pull out this little arm that we talked about in the overload episode. And this little arm is going to sit there, and it's going to be supportive. And then this claw thing is going to fold back in, but it's going to fold back in a different way. Where is that? Bend it. Okay. There it goes. You want to drag the wheel as far up as it will go, and then fold the claw back. And there we have it. That should give enough space. The claw is actually going to kind of fold around the back of the leg assembly, when on this one long haul's plugged in, this is going to fold over the back of long haul and just kind of sit there to add stability to the transformation, as this arm does by giving a nice strong right angle to help support the weight that all these things will become. Now we'll go to the front of his vehicle mode, and we're going to pull up the cab, and then we're going to pull all of those panels up that the cab is connected to. Then we're going to disconnect both of the legs. And don't forget, the side wheels need to get pulled up as well. The wheels in the very middle of the vehicle. Just pull them up all the way to get them out of the way. Now, this is where some argument comes in about this guy. Some people that I just talked about discuss different ways to put him together. See, I'm going to go the way that I know, and it may be a different way than what you know. Just alerting you. So, the way I know is to rotate both of these legs, this bits, 180 degrees. I mean, this is what I figured, but it may be wrong, because the back of this guy is actually kind of a nice skirt feeling area, but there's no way to really connect things there. I'm not too sure, 100% sure on this one, but I assume it's like this. So I may be completely wrong, and I'm letting you know that right now, that I am not completely sure. But I do know that when you turn the legs and put them like this, it does allow for more of a gap between the two legs. I don't think there's a way to drag I mean, we could drag it all the way up and rotate the legs like that, but that isn't how it doesn't ever work right. So I'm just going to set them both like that and hope for the best. Now, this part here is this top panel. You got the cab, and then you have this huge rectangular cutout. That's just going to lay flat for a moment. We're not going to work with it just at this time. We're instead going to fold the head of Overload down into a little slot there, and its little head slot when he's in robot mode. And I'm just going to make sure that it kind of snaps into place a bit. So after that, we want to the front legs, or the actual legs for Overload, are on this clicky. We want to pull it out as far as it will go, and we're going to rotate these so that we can lay them flat up against Devastator's stomach when it is time for the devastation to begin. So rotate each of them without rotating the things that they're connected to. And this is difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. They do not like rotating. They do not like rotating at all. They do not like rotating any time at all. There it goes. But you can do it. It's a little forceful, but once you get that rotation done, it will look like this. Two wheels facing outwards, and then the flappy things, which can just get folded off to the sides slightly. Just turn them to 90 degrees and just leave them there. From what I understand, those things are full customizable. They're just, there's no hard connections for them. After you do that, you want to switch over the two wheels on the sides and let them hang out on the sides, and then rotate this. So if you feel that there's you feel the giant T thing, that's obviously where something slides into place on Devastator. On the robot here. It's a main feature of the vehicle mode and is kind of hidden in the robot mode. But right above it is this big rectangle thing, and usually in robot mode you would fold the big rectangle thing to cover that, but in this mode you don't. You just lay it straight up and down. What's going to happen is when Wheelbot gets slid onto this part with that with the spot that I mentioned in the previous video, this is going to combine together with it. And yeah, so for the most part, he's transformed, and he is just waiting for his other connections. So we can just kind of set him up. He can actually stand on his own because of how he's transformed right now. And keep a lookout for Blindformers episode 50. I did have a surprise in store until I discovered that Devastator is going to take a little longer. So episode 50 will now be the combination of Devastator, and I will of course do an episode 50 celebration video whenever I release my Blindformers episode 50. So until next Prime, I am Blind Prime, and I will see you next time.